We should in a moment. I just had a message arrive from a very famous arm wrestler. We shall see.
Looks like we are live.
We are live.
We're on. Darts, that's
Right.
lovely. So I'll just make a quick apology for any viewers to the show that are usually looking forward to seeing Paul Lynn in the tank top, often slightly oiled up and in perfect lighting. Not going to be the case tonight, guys. You have actually got me, and I look a little bit more like a beach whale without a suntan. But I've got the tank top on, and there it is. Hey, up, here we go. It's about to kick off, Ryan, one of your mates. Not that one. This is your next super match opponent coming up.
Oh, very good, Ingen. The man in the moment.
Ingen.
Love it.
Yes. We are now joined by a man who once threatened to cut one of my teammates' ears off. It's Engin, the Enigma of Rage Tersey. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'll also put a couple of explanations in for, we're going to be a bit thin on the ground tonight. We've no White Oak and we've no Rolly Ray.
Oh.
Hey, Rolly Ray, young lad like that, can't handle the pace. Goes out to Istanbul for one weekend.
Ruined.
Yep, and he's gone down. Yeah, but I actually had a message the other day about Rolly Ray. And they said they'd seen a picture that we put out. You know, we put some still pictures out from Iron House. He said, is Rolly Ray not that tall? And I'm like, oh, God, where have you been? He literally said, he looks like he was stood next to Sanders and a couple of other, and Jordan within the shot of the airport. And I got like 3 comments on it, and it just said, well, just welcome Engin. Engin!
Hello, guys.
It's only midnight, so we'll be right with you, son. I'm just updating the guys on a little bit of commentary I had about Rolly Ray. And they said, yeah, is he not tall? And I said, no, he's not that tall. Ray, he's not one of the bigger guys. And they said, well, how tall is he? And I said, well, let's just say he doesn't go down on his bird. He goes up on her. That's the kind of level we're talking about, you know. What is Ray's like? 5? What would you say he is? 5'6", 5'5"-ish? Maybe bigger, 5'8" max?
5'8" max.
5'8" max, I would have thought, you know. But Carolyn Loomis, thanks for your super chat. She's put, Ryan, do you think you can beat Angie Rose?
Oh, look, the way she defended that top roll, the patience that her execution was so good. I loved what Angie Rose did, so I don't think I have a chance at all. No.
Now, let's not waste the fact that we've got the Enigma on here. And as you can probably tell, ladies and gentlemen, he looks even ropier than he usually does. Bearing in mind that Engin is 175 years old when he fought. That must have been a pretty tiring weekend, mate. How do you feel? Was it everything you expected, Engin?
No, mostly yes.
Now, obviously, we're only going to be on here for about an hour and a half. We haven't got time to sort of cover everything off, but there were some highlights in there. And let's be biased as frig straight out the gates and talk about Ron Bath and Zurab. That's the match. Mate, that was by far the best match of the day for me. By far. And the fact that Ron Bath is 60, is he 60 today? Or it's his birthday, like, imminently, isn't it?
They said Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, so Ron Bath coming up 60 years old. I love him.
Amazing.
What can you say?
That was a special match for sure. I mean, those guys both dug deep to a point where you just can't dig any deeper. And the heart that they both showed, the wars that kept on going, the restarts, the drama of that was so intense. God. I thought Ron had it, but then Zurab just would not say die with that arm strength that he had, the bicep, the defense there. Even if he lost his wrist, he lost the pronation, he still just was like, no, I'm not going. And Ron, the pronation of Ron looked fantastic in defense. His hand looked strong, and probably one of the most entertaining matches I've seen. I would have loved if it had ended slightly differently. Just being the little elbow foul at the end, and then the pin where I think Ron had lost connection to the table because that's sweaty elbows that slipped off the side or something.
I'm going to be honest with you. I would have not called that as the end of the match. That's just my opinion. I was a little gutted in how that finished, but everybody knows, I think I've been on record for a number of years of saying my stance on that, because the arm was pretty upright when it came off, and you could clearly see that Ron looked round at the ref at the time. It was gutting to see a match of that magnitude. But then again, maybe Zurab's guys wouldn't have seen it that way. And ultimately, the man's elbow came off the pad, and Zurab put him into the pad. So, but like you say, I think it was one of those matches. I don't know what you thought, Engin. At one point, I thought it was.
I don't know. That was interesting. That people think that running fouls are great, and then suddenly when their favorite arm wrestler is losing, and then the foul was not there. You shouldn't continue. It's just like I mean, just need one single standard. Of course it's waffles. I don't know where the foul happened exactly. I wasn't, but I went there. I talked with the referees after the match. I said, like, is there any possibility to restart this, or was the losing position or not, or something,
Mm-hmm.
So they decided that, it was, win for Zurab, but so what to do? And then I saw Ron is congratulating him. They hug each other, and then what to say?
Well, the good thing is it sets up a rematch, doesn't it? What better reason to set up a rematch? I mean, my God, it screams rematch all day, that one.
It was so painful. I mean, when I say painful, to just feel, what they feel when you look at them. And then the match is same, Zurab just goes side pressure with supination, and the Ron tries to block him as much as possible. Once his pronator is just losing, and then he just gives himself. It's not really, he's not under the table, and then he takes Zurab's wrist, and then Zurab goes with the dead wrist, and then I don't know. It was just like I was like, is it? Do you remember? Do you guys remember the Elm Street thing? Just like Freddy Krueger, that all those nightmares. I was like, what the hell? I look it up there. It still continues. Just like I was like, is it real or not? I don't know how long it take. Like 10 minutes.
I need to look back on. But I'll tell you what. Do you know what I really love about Ron Bath? Is that Ron Bath went everywhere. When it was going sideways and his pronator had failed and he was going pretty much straight arm, I mean, everything had just fallen out for him. That next round, bang, goes in, engages that shoulder. I love him.
Yeah, and Zurab was able to counter almost all of them.
Yes. And I mean, Zurab, in my opinion, Zurab's arm was stronger. He had the stronger arm.
But that muscle, as we know, that the muscle gets tired, This guy's bicep kind of didn't get tired at all. I was like, when is he gonna finish? Okay, now Ram put the shoulder on, and I was okay, now it's gonna give up. I mean, that bicep hold it forever,
Mate, it looked all but over. It looked all but over. When Ron was 2 up, I thought, yeah, it's probably done.
Yeah.
Nope. Zurab's an absolute rock. The guy hung in there, massive respect to him, fought to the death. You can't knock the man. Zurab's amazing. Love him. What a great match.
I mean, if somebody, with the power asked me, what are your 3 wishes? I would just say one of them would be to look as good as Ron looks at 60. I would love to be at 60. I mean, forget about it. In the venue, there was maybe 1 or 2 people look as good as he does. That physically is like a superhero from the science fiction movie, and he was 115 kilo.
Yeah,
and ripped. Yeah, it was ripped. Yeah,
I mean, I've got slightly different wishes. If we were going down the wishes route, me and you have a little different. I'd probably start at about 600 million quid and a 14-inch penis. But after that, Ron Bath, it's about there. And I know what you're thinking, Engin, but I need 2 inches taking off this. So, getting back to the topic of yesterday, okay? Let's look at it, and we'll come back and clean the bath a little bit later on and just get that out there. But we're going to have to touch on a few high points as well. John Brzenk is amazing. I love him. John Brzenk yesterday, if anybody needed to know why John Brzenk's the man, surely, John, that was it. I mean,
he looks like a, serial killer, those eyes. Yeah. I mean, seriously, if he wasn't an arm wrestler, that he would probably be a serial killer. You know, that the sharp eyes, like cold eyes. Before the event, right before the match, I took him aside. Listen, next month you're gonna kick my ass. If you now lose Zolev and kick my ass, I said you and I are gonna have problems. If you're gonna beat me, you're gonna be that guy as well. You understand? He was like, "Don't worry."
Oh, well, I'll tell you what it is, Engin. Just on that, I can't wait till you see Arm Wars Iron House, because we had Tobias in there, Tobias Trolls Pedersen. While we're on the subject of serial killers, when we left the Iron House, not going to give you any details about what happened when we went in there, but we talk about serial killers, guys with lifeless eyes, guys who give off that vibe. When we left the house, we came out, the house were on the phone 2 days later. Only the house usually might say something like, somebody left a mobile phone or a bag. Nope. They were on the phone. They're like, there's 7 bodies buried in the back. And we were like, oh, Tobias again. No.
Busy.
Charles Pedersen. Tell you what, scary dude. Wait till you see Iron House. Terrifying. Chills down my spine. I actually got a bit cold. I might put some on in a minute, thinking. But the other high point for me, you remember, Engin, this week we had a show. We were talking about one of the dream matchups, the fantasy matchups that was coming up, right? And if you date this back and check it back, myself, Engin, and Bob Brown, and I said, do you think by any chance that if Jordan Sonev, who is a dyed-in-the-wool friggin' monster, hits the hook a couple of times with Todd, and it's just not what he expected, it's just way too much, there's any chance that he tries to top roll?
Yeah.
And it was like, no, don't think that can happen. Round 3, Jordan finds the top roll.
It wasn't top roll. It was a desperation move of top roll. You know, just like, you know.
Hey.
I asked Todd, you know, could you beat him in a second? He said, yeah. He was gonna make it even longer. I said, could you do this? Yeah. I mean,
the fact that, what about that for a record, Engin? The fact that Todzilla made Zulaev and Jordan Sonev both top roll. I mean, Christ, that's all you need, isn't it? That is all you need.
The Zolev story wasn't like this. On the press conference, Zolev said that he prepared for hook.
Okay.
Yes, for Hutchings. And then during the setup, he felt that he could top roll him. He was not even trained for top roll. I asked again, and he said the same thing. He did not train for top roll.
Okay, so he just felt there was a lane there.
And just felt, and he was like, okay, he's gonna come this way. That's how he beat him. I was thinking like you did, but he said that for sure he didn't train for top roll.
But it's funny because yesterday morning, right, I'm having a bit of a chat with a very famous arm wrestler who shall remain nameless. Say blushes, right? And he says to me, you know, we're going through matches. He says, "Are you going to be watching today?" I'm like, "Yeah." He says, and he knows who he is. So he says, "What? Who you got?" And we're going through the matches, and I say, "I got John." And he says, "When we get to that match," he says, "Really?" I say, "Yeah, I got John." And he's like, "Oh, here we go," because I'd said a few weeks ago that I thought that Rob Vigent Jr. would do better against Hadji than he did against Sasha, stylistically. I just believe that.
True.
Now, he said, "Oh, what are you basing that on?" I've got Zulaev. And I said, "Yeah, well, for me, John's biggest weapon, whenever you arm wrestle John, the thing that was holy shit about John is that hand and wrist. Just the hand and wrist control, his ability to utilize that from any angle to find what he needs, just absolutely phenomenal." So I said, for me, I think that it could be a grueler, but I think that John's going to pull it out. It'll go to straps. He'll find a strap, ball up his hand, get into a strap, and then he'll have enough lat at least. Well, he didn't need no straps. He didn't need any. He had so much. It was shocking.
I will tell you something.
Dominant.
Zolev was not in the shape that he faced Todd for sure. But we can't take anything from John.
No.
Zolev just experienced COVID and also some injury. And I was expecting him to be as heavy. He was like near 94 against Todd. Here, he was with close to 90 kilo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was probably 89 kilo or less or something. John was 102 kilo on the scale. probably 105 kilo on the competition time. But listen, I mean, nobody like John is 57, and he has probably 5 million miles on his arm. And then just if you are pulling John, and if you are 20 years younger than John, I mean, you can't have excuse, you understand? Just I mean, John has more than that, you know. If we are gonna
I had the opportunity to speak to John during the commentary, just when the event started. And we're waiting for the Core Sports live stream to come up. I gave John a call, and John sounded excited. He sounded like he said his hand and wrist was feeling amazing. He said he feels like now that he's lightened up after his preparations for Devon, where he really put in a lot of work. He said he's rested well. He said his hand and wrist felt amazing, and he was really excited to pull. So I was so amazed when I saw that match start. Like during the grip up, I was nervous. I was wondering, are we going to see this explosive Zoloev top roll that defeated Todd Hutchings just only a few months ago? And Todd, we know, is in a rich vein of form.
Yeah.
So Zoloev was carrying all of this stigma in my mind of like, oh my goodness, is John going to be up to Zoloev? And then the ease in which John did it just blew my mind. I could not believe what I was witnessing. And for me, it was one of those things that just absolutely solidifies his status as the greatest.
It was amazing. His resurgence.
But also Todd Hutchings in the first West versus East, and then now he is now in better shape. You can see he's bigger, his shoulders, everything. He just looks incredible. That guy,
mate, he looked fantastic. I mean, to be fair, I think John and Todd are absolutely resurgent at the moment. They both taken losses recently. Well, I say recently, obviously, Zoloev for Todd wasn't that recently, but it was a loss that I think lit a fire in Todd. It kicked his ass a little bit. I actually think he could have won that match.
Lachlan Adair was happy with the result.
Oh, well, if you're Lachlan, you suddenly feel less concerned about your loss, don't you? I mean, you do, you know. Todd Zilla's a friggin', he's just an animal. The man is rock strong.
Can you imagine that John 2-0 winning, and then he went intentional inside with Zoloev? That guy is just like, I don't know what to say, you know. He is cracked. You know? He's not normal. He told me yesterday, crazy, but he's not normal either. I don't think that anyone at very high level is normal, you know. And do you know how he rolled out?
Go on.
He went out inside, he went, and then I was right at the front seat, you know. I said, can you roll out from there?
Oh, yeah, and he did easy, didn't he?
Yeah, but I was doing, can you roll out from there? And it was just like, whoa. It was just, Zola will hate me for that, but...
But his ability to maintain his hand control as he does it is amazing. He's fantastic.
I didn't want him to do it, be successful, but I was just curious if he could do or not. And he's just like, you know, all like, you know, you can order, what do you like from me during the match? You want me to hook? You know, top rope?
Yeah, the menu, and I'll go through it. He's a frigging weirdo. But it was really nice to see John back to doing that, back to looking so fluid, so dominant, experimental in his match, enjoying himself up there, going through the range of motion. I loved watching it. It was fantastic.
He said
I'm really proud and happy of John. I thought it was ace. Let's talk over a couple of super chats, mate, before we lose them.
Yeah.
So we got the Hunster. Thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put, and we'll discuss this in a moment, who's next for Todd Zilla? And also Ron is legendary. Yes, he is. He's absolutely fantastic, mate. And we will come back to that again. We got a super chat from Carl Superman Stanley. He's put, I love the fix. Hope to be on East versus West upcoming events. John Brzenk is Captain America. Yeah, he's certainly put a bit of pride back in the show for the US, hasn't he? Serginho with a super chat. Thanks, mate. He's put, Hermes is so big that his tongue does not fit in his mouth. What a belting night for arm wrestling. Take a bow, Engin. And that is a sentiment echoed by Mr. JC Wank Statham of Arm Wars fame. James Statham, ladies and gents, the guy who's responsible for putting together all the Arm Wars films that are coming out. And he has just said, thanks, Engin. Thank you, Engin.
I thank everyone. And then I will make a video and I will just share my thoughts about everything, positive and negative. Yeah. So it is, I am with 2 hours sleep. and then I need to sign tons of shirts. I will send most of the t-shirts with Herman to US because I'm afraid that on the way, because overseas the t-shirts will be lost. So I better send with Herman so he can track better. So
Tremendous,
he's
mate.
gonna, yeah.
So we got Matt Tickle My Limits Larrett with a super chat. He's put nothing but love for you guys. Another great show. Neil's Arm Wars and Engin's East versus West. So amazing. And how about Toddzilla? So let's pick it up from there. Thanks, Matt Tickle My Limits. Really appreciate your super chat, mate. So Todd's, we got one more, sorry. Joe Mama. And Joe, thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put, Neil, am I the only one that hated the ref's call that ended Ron's right-hand match? I hated it at the time, yeah. I felt like going outside and shooting my dick in the car door to take the pain away. But then again, ultimately it was a massive elbow foul. And if you're Zurab, you'd be pretty disappointed if that isn't given because he drove him to the pad. So for somebody who just wants to see the match, I get it entirely. I was pissed off as well. But if you're Zurab's corner, he definitely had an argument there, so it's that engaging discussion, isn't it? I mean, John Thompson.
I think it was a miss.
Sorry,
It was a pure miscall. We're under WAF rules, so it was Ron's hand was still center table when his elbow off the side because of sweaty elbows and pressure into the pad. And then when he returned to the pad a second later and then got hammered. It was a missed call. It should have been a restart. Pretty simple.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought the same. But again, it's a bloody hard job being a referee. Very, very difficult job. Thankless task. And overall, hell of a match. Just a shame when it ends like that, really.
If it was running foul, would it be a pin?
It wasn't.
Or restart?
No, in Arm Wars rules, that would be a restart. It would have been a foul, a straight foul, because the guys. Really? Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that when you foul in the running, then if you are in a
No, popular misconception, mate. People think that the running fouls because people have taken on running fouls. They've seen it in Arm Wars and then taken it on, but nobody's actually adopted the Arm Wars running foul correctly. Everybody that was in Iron House and Reality Check, we talk about that a great deal before the matches start. Make sure all the arm wrestlers are very clear, and I think you'll get a really good indication of that when you watch Iron House, because there's a lot of good examples that are really
same with the WAL about the running foul.
Not at all, not even remotely close. No.
So if it was the WAL rules, then it would continue.
WAL, yes, probably would have done.
Okay.
Not the same.
I don't know. I don't exactly know. The only thing I saw, I didn't even see. One, like, it was like, it just finished so, I would say, quick, the foul and the pin happened like right after another. I didn't see where exactly the foul was.
Mm-hmm.
If it was at the middle or it was losing position, I didn't see it.
It was definitely in the middle, but it was
because you guys know it. Because you guys know it. You watch from the live,
Yeah.
I didn't understand where it happened because we watched from like a little bit far, not with the close camera,
Yeah, they just carved into the hook, pretty much wrist on wrist. As Ron started to drive, a little bit of upward pressure started to drive. Zurab had a stronger arm, hammered him back a little bit, drove him straight off the side of the pad, but with his arm in a pretty much upright position. So there was nothing there, and it bounced down really hard. Ron was immediately off position and distracted, looked round, and as he did that, he was hammered into the pad. So for me, it was a restart all day, but it was a hell of a foul. So, let's knock over the rest of these super chats, and then we'll move on, guys. So we got Kirsten Prodigy. Kirsten will be coming on the show shortly with Bozhidar Simonov, who he will arm wrestle very soon, next couple of weeks. Over in Malta, so keep your eyes out for that. And he's just put, well done, Engin. He was at the event, this guy. He's put, you amazed the whole world. My target is to take part in this amazing event someday. Take care, guys. Thank you, Kirsten, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the show soon. Captain MAJ or Captain Maj, and he's just put, respect to Engin. Great event. It certainly was, mate. Yeah, I've not seen many events with more big-name arm wrestlers on than that. It was rock solid in that respect. Marco GT5 with a super chat. Despite the technical difficulties, I love the event and well worth the money for pay-per-view and the T-shirt. Thanks, Engin. Couple more, and then we are back to level pegging. Justin B with a super chat. Best collection of matches I've ever seen. Holy shit, wait for Iron House. Thank you, Engin. Can't wait to get my t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm signing them. Everybody signed except me.
And then Joe Mama, he's put fiver for Engin. Engin, you're a friggin' legend. And Juji Mugu. Oh, you'll love this. Engin, will you please hire Bowen for commentary next time? There we go. And we are up to speed.
Yeah, Jake and I had an absolute blast commentating. It was 5 hours. We had about, I think we peaked at 2,400 people in there listening, and it was the best card I've had a chance to call. And first time I've got to sit in this studio side by side with Jake, and we had an absolute just thrill of a time. It was exciting, and we put a lot into the production quality here, so it was nice to be able to rely on some good mics and know that it was going out loud and clear. And yeah, I think those that did watch it had a great time, and I know I had a great time in there as well. So I'll always be commentating from here anyway. But if someone ever asked me, it'd be an honor. Absolutely.
Just 1 second. Do you guys take any disrespect because I'm signing this t-shirt while we're chatting? No,
not at all.
Yeah, because I really make them ready. He's gonna go in the morning. I need to. I'm with 2 hours sleep and still, need to do a lot.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all, mate. We've had Darko with a super chat, and he's just put amazing event, Engin. Also, a lot of love for Engin there. This is my favourite chat of the night, and it's from Juji Mugu, and he's put, Engin, did you pre-approve Ray's tight polka shirt with matching belt?
What's that?
You know Rolly Ray of the Fit Fame. What did you think to his shirt and belt combo?
I mean, he's always, he's the real schoolboy. I think that guy will be still schoolboy when he's 50 years old. So, I mean,
it was a hell of a shirt and belt combo, though. I don't think. I mean, we talked about the depth and quality of the card. I'm not sure there's ever been a shirt and belt combo as strong as that in the history of any sport. I don't know what you guys think.
Our arm wrestling world needs him. That guy.
Oh,
just there are some guys that you can use anywhere you need. You understand? When I say use, not in a bad way. You need commentary, he does it. Refereeing, he would do it. You understand? The announcement, he would do it.
Translator.
Yeah. What's that?
Translator.
Yeah. Russian, English. That guy. Yeah, I mean that guy is just like needed for arm wrestling world.
Just the model.
I thought the model. Yeah, he can do that.
Model. I thought that all of your stuff, Ryan, with Jake was really good, but I also really enjoyed the Coach Ray and Giannis duo as well, because Giannis basically just tells you exactly what's going to happen in the match 15 seconds before it actually happens. That's his whole gig, and he will pull no punches either. In the Gennady Michael match, that first round, Gennady was really surging forward, and Giannis was like, nope, stop doing that, Gennady. You stop it right now. He switches modes, and the rest is history. So that was very entertaining.
We're barracking the refs as well.
Yes, really getting on the refs.
That was quite an unusual angle, I thought. When Ray and Giannis were having a go at the refs from the commentary position, I was like, what the is going on here?
Yeah,
any minute Engin's going to be on him.
Michael was trying to intimidate Gennady like all night, baby, or something. He was saying. I was like, hey, Michael, wrong attempt. He doesn't speak English, like he will not understand what you are saying. He wouldn't care anyways. Yeah.
We would have got the ultimate test of that if Evan Burgoyne had been over and Engin had gone to him. He'd have had to say, Evan, you have to tone it down a little bit. Can you imagine if he? Because Schoolboy doesn't speak anyway. He doesn't say a goddamn thing, does he? Never speaks. He was impressive.
Yeah, I have to say the performance of the night from any one individual for me was Gennady. What he did was phenomenal. The energy brought was the old school Gennady, what I remembered of him, and it was maybe the highest energy I've ever seen him. And I loved the talk on the table and the ferociousness that he just hit from center with some of those. Like he was enjoying the moment so much that he was punching sideways with such unorthodox directions, but he was doing it because he was playing with him. He was just like, look at this, I can do this. What do you want me to do? I'll pin you
He was
anytime.
also effective. He was preventing the balance for Mike as well.
Not that he was playing, but he was really hitting somewhere unexpected. Usually, you expect shoulder pressure or this, but he was just going like, that way. Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
It was entertaining.
What was your opinions of that in terms of how shocked were you?
You asking me? Jonathan. Oh, okay.
I was fairly shocked. I thought, after you add these things up, you do some arm wrestling math. You look at what happened to Gennady against Hermes and how Gennady really seemed his wrist was exposed. And then you think about what Michael does, and it's like he exposes wrists, like he's going to get you one way or another and make you start pushing in. But Gennady slowed down. He did what he needed to do, and just like it was like you couldn't look away because you're like, is this what's happening now? This is what's happening, and it just kept on happening. So man, all bow to Gennady. That dude is a bad dude.
Always has been.
Gennady's been talking a big game specific towards Michael Todd for a long time on social media. He's been calling Michael Todd out. I think he's been thinking about the match with Michael Todd for a long time, and he's always seen it as a point that he just knew in his own mind that he had the game to do it. So it doesn't surprise me that he executed so wonderfully well, because I think he's wanted it for a long time, and it was very entertaining. And he rested at the right times. He put Michael into a corner, and then encouraging Michael to try to get out of there was just trying to bait Michael out. And you could see that the hand dominance from Gennady was there at center table, and Michael just couldn't go anywhere on the offensive side. It was just not happening at all. And he used timing so nicely in his counterattacks to just chip further away at the hand and wrist of Michael and just turning him under, and then it was all inevitable from there.
The funny thing for me on that was that I wasn't at all surprised that Gennady got hand dominance, because a lot of people get hand dominance on Mike. Guys like Nick Zinner have done it. Many others. But where I was really surprised, and I think there is maybe a little bit of he got off track a little bit recently, and probably because of the pressure that's come from social media, which is huge on Michael, is that I think Mike has escaped or moved out of the lane that he was so awkward and so successful at. And he's transitioned back to a more orthodox style of arm wrestling. And because in the past, he was exceptional at defending and maintaining the integrity of the pronation throughout the match. And that was clearly lost in that outing. Clearly lost. For whatever reason, that was clearly lost. Now, I feel bad for Mike, because Mike's one of those guys that has been looking to sort of improve himself and reinvent himself. And that is the mark of a champion. When you do get, somebody breaks the foot off in your ass, you pick up, dust yourself off. And let's be honest, in a high pressure scenario, because it was all the world watching, you get beaten. It's never nice. But to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go again, and try to get back to a more orthodox style. But when it hits the fan, you run back to what you are very good at, and something that served you well for a long period of time. But the integrity of the move wasn't there for him. It just wasn't there. It didn't look the same. If you look back at it, it doesn't look like... I'll tell you what would be interesting. If Michael retraced his steps now, I remember speaking to him when he came back after the Devon loss, and he went on his live, and he said something along the lines of, well, I thought I felt great, and then I came back and I pulled with Corey in practice, and I was not doing well with him at all. I was doing pretty poorly with Corey, which I'd previously done very well. So something was off track. And in some respects, I wonder if there was a retracing of his steps, like if he pulled guys that he's done very well with recently, and impressive ones. Even someone like Dave would be a pretty good one, because he always managed to sort of disable Dave with that. At the base, his pronator was so solid, so together. He was able to disable Chafee. And I kind of think I'd like to see if he could do that now. I'm not sure he would now, because it looked different. I don't know what you guys thought.
So this came up. I was doing a live earlier today with Jason Merlot, Jamie Sheldon, and Artem. And I think it was Jason Merlot who brought up, is this anything to do with Michael's last two matches being on a 7x7 pad instead of a 7x9 pad? Does that have anything to do with his ability to perform, or is that just?
I don't believe so, John, because if you look at the Reebok situation when he pulled Dave, and he could pull very, very solidly in that style on the Arm Wars Mazarenka table. He's done it regularly in the PAL events on Nemiroff Cup and in the Vendettas. It's never given him a problem. I think there is you see it a lot of the time. If you move away from something, the memory of the move, the togetherness of the move, people hate it on Mike's King's move. But whether or not you're a fan of the King's move, I think one of the things you've got to pay some attention to is that it isn't an easy move to do correctly. And Michael was the best in the world at it. And moving away from that, I think he's lost a little bit of that joining up in his own mind. And those small incremental gains that he needs to do, the repositioning. And Michael thinks his way through matches a lot. I'd like to speak to Mike and see if he felt like, for whatever reason, it wasn't joining up, and I don't really know why. If that was the case, then I'm sure there's something in that. He's just fallen away from his memory a little bit. His natural.
Well, you have to say of Mike's position, like you could see it in the live that he did afterwards. I'm good friends with Mike, and I know how much he put into the preparation of this last season since the loss to Devon, and I know what his aspirations were. I know where his desire and his belief and his heart and how hard he was working. He was working incredibly hard by his standards. And you could see it in the live afterwards that he was at a moment where he was just accepting, okay, I think my peak is gone. It's now in the rearview mirror. And he was accepting within himself that maybe there just isn't a way to be where I was or to be as high as I once was able. So I don't know. I'd be interesting to see what he thinks it is on a physical sense, because he said his pronation just wasn't there. He was palm up and he was just defending with a bicep sort of lock and a drag and he only had a very small piece of real estate to work with. But it was. I thought he handled it really well, given the desire and the goals that he had. He wanted Levan. He had belief for Levan. I believed that he was going to be a problem for Levan, but then you see this and you go, wow, okay. The way Gennady handled him, Gennady's the gatekeeper to Levan in a lot of senses. And so you saw it from Michael acknowledging that, no, look, I think he feels an acceptance and almost a peace in himself that he's like, okay, my best is perhaps in the past. And obviously he'll keep being involved in arm wrestling, but I think we'll see an adjustment. He'll relax mentally, he might lighten up again. And who knows, that might bring his pronation back, but we'll see.
Yeah. So do you guys give any, obviously we can say, okay, maybe Michael's move wasn't there. There was something different. There was something off. But how much of it do we credit to Gennady for figuring it out? Because for a lot of time, that was the key. People just couldn't figure it out. They didn't know where to go. But Gennady, he did seem to know where to go. So do we give a little bit of credit to Gennady for just shutting it down?
I think you've got to do. And I think Gennady Quickvenia is a very I come back to it a lot. Styles make matches, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Gennady Quickvenia is not that good after he lost to Hermes." I just never believed that. I don't believe that. Gennady Quickvenia is an extremely well-rounded, very exciting, fantastic arm wrestler. Always been one of my favorite. I've said it many times on shows. One of my favorite arm wrestlers in the world. Very exciting, very entertaining puller. Not dissimilar to Michael in many ways. Very dissimilar in the way they arm wrestle, but from a character and a enthusiasm perspective, and the guy that's, if there's blood in the water, he's a very hard man to convince otherwise. If he gets a bite in the match, his confidence goes through the roof and he's a different arm wrestler. And he's always been that guy. But I don't give Gennady as much credit as a lot of people think, oh, it's just that. And it was just that Gennady worked it out. Gennady's always a threat and was always a threat. But I really, from watching the match and from watching the last couple of outings, it hasn't looked to me like Mike has been arm wrestling the same. And his preparation hasn't been the same from what I can see. He's been doing stuff which are not necessarily going to help him as much in the match itself. That's my take on it. And I feel bad for Mike. I hope Mike doesn't overthink it, because Mike wants to win as much as any man who's ever drawn breath. And he doesn't want to overthink it too much, you know.
I think that a few things I want to say. First of all, I agree that the difference, like Michael doesn't bring his shoulder below table anymore for last 3-4 years. He's above the table, and I don't think that move is as effective when your shoulder is above and below. Whenever he beat, for example, Pushkar, he dig down, you know. Against Devon, he still did the same thing, you know. But now he stays, and he's getting the pressure. Whenever he goes down, he was putting tons of pressure upon his hand, you know. And that's one thing I wanted to say. The second thing, I don't know if Michael is not doing this because of his receiving so much hate, or is it because, I don't know, there is something wrong that we don't know. And the third thing I want to say, even when Michael was going under, as Neil didn't say in that way, under or over, but he was saying it different. Still, Michael wasn't unbeatable.
No.
Dennis beat him. Dennis beat him in 2 super matches. Pushkar beat him. Dimitri Turubin beat him. Before in England, Devon beat him. So what I'm just saying, I'm not saying that to say something negative, but it wasn't like unbeatable. And people who knew the way to beat this move was more successful than the people who were actually stronger but didn't know how to do it. So I think the way that Gennady pulled yesterday goes into the category of the people who knew how to defeat him. Yeah.
But the way to beat the King's move is to turn the guy's palm up.
Yeah,
and if the guy's palm is turned up much easier.
He was like this. Michael was like this. Was going,
now,
you know?
Michael's ability to protect that in the past was far better, in my opinion. I think his pronation was far better, and the manner in which he trained for that was a focus. And I think he was utilizing it more regularly. And when you get away from that over a couple of years, which he has, I think it, as I say, if anything, it gives you a better indication of just how technical the King's move is and what goes to make a good King's mover. You know, and that I'm looking forward to speaking to Mike himself and to see what Mike says on it. But the main thing is I hope Mike doesn't take it too bad, because Michael's still a fantastic arm wrestler. And the one positive that comes out of this for me, possibly, is that maybe Mike does depressurize this whole situation and he starts winding his weight down a little bit, not necessarily going after that #1 spot, but pulling guys a couple of tiers down. And we see Mike's technical range, because Mike's a hell of an inside arm wrestler as well. He can arm wrestle in a lot of positions.
Always.
Really entertaining matches. And I actually liked, I'm going to be honest, I liked the old Arm Wars version of Mike. Was amazing to watch. Incredible. He got in some unbelievable battles, and they were very, very entertaining matches. And at that time, he was super popular. Nobody was pouring scorn on him at that point. He was everybody's favorite because he was in such amazing matches. And if anything good comes out of that, and it sends Mike back down that route, now he's got a bit of a following as well. Yeah, everything else.
Neil, like when you say like a King's move, you know, like, and then when you say that what he does now is different than what you were doing, the only thing that he was doing different, he was going down more.
No, I don't agree.
Yes. Even listen. Even when his pronator was, when you think that it's pronator, when his pronator was curled, what he was doing, just throwing himself that way, was using his, like, I mean, of course he was using pronator.
He's not protecting the pronator though, mate. He's inherent strength here.
Can you allow me to talk? Even when it was turning here, when you do like this, see, this looks like pronator. You still take the wrist here. But it is as much as, you know, supinated. But just because you throw yourself that way, you're using it like which Ryan calls it like hook something, hook kings or something, whatever he calls. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, but you do that, you know, like he was doing like under, like many times
Yeah.
when Michael wasn't pinned by, like, for example, Pushkar, his arm, his shoulder was there. If his shoulder was up there, like yesterday, he was a pin, you know.
I disagree entirely. I don't think Michael ever did the King's hook style of King's move.
No, it's not a King's hook.
Mike was more like
But
Crazy
for
George,
me-
like a giant
Yeah,
George Zakowicz.
I think that, Neil, I think that you are not, I think that you are not open to the new ideas. That's why I don't say being exactly that. This is what he calls. I'm just saying you are here
Mhm.
and you are turned now. Whenever you throw yourself
Yeah.
that way, you are still turned, but it is working like a pronated. It's not even pronated. It is totally supinated.
Yeah.
And then when you go down also like this, your arm is not coming down. So, but whenever your shoulder is about like this, like yesterday, so this is possible to get pinned. But look at, I can tell you, many times when Pushkar put the pressure on his arm, his shoulder being lower than table saved his hand to not to touch the pad. If he would pull Pushkar all the time above the pad, I don't know if it would be that effective, because whenever you're using your humerus like a lever, it is putting so much pressure the opponent's hand and wrist. And
If
when
you
you pull
watch the
that way
match
all
with
the time,
Pushkar, go back and watch the match with Pushkar. Pushkar pins him just on raw top end, climbs him, and manages to force him down while his pronation is engaged. It's not Michael like this with his palm turned up early on.
No. I'm not talking about that only. Listen, during the match, it goes to the all kind of positions. I'm not talking about the time that Pushkar beat him. I'm talking about the time that Pushkar couldn't beat him. So he goes every position. He doesn't stay all the time that way. He goes there. I can show you. I can take a picture, and tomorrow I can post by tagging you about 100 pictures of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, the definition
I know
of
you
the
will
King's
do that,
move-
you crazy bastard.
For me, the definition of the King's move, the difference between an open arm top roll and a King's move is for me where you are on the elbow. If you're on this point of the elbow, you're in an open top roll. As soon as you go to the inside, you're in a King's move for me.
So George never did a King's move.
What do you mean? You need to go that way? I mean, if you are in a losing position like this, it's not that.
I'm saying if this is an open arm top roll, and that is a King's move. As soon as that's for me how I see it. When people get that extra pronation that you're talking about, Engen, of pivoting onto the inside of the elbow, that the connective tissue lock, as you said, you can be fully supinated and still impart a pronating effect by transitioning to the inside of your elbow.
But most of the argument is when you are in losing position, not when you are, taking from here to here.
Just to pick up on Ryan's point there, Ryan, just to pick up on that, mate. The King's move is not one functional movement in terms of the spectrum that it involves with everybody. There are guys that Kings move one way and guys that Kings move in a similar way, but not identical.
Yeah, this is what I am asking. How do you define it? Like what Michael does right now? What's it?
Of arm wrestling.
What's the name of it? What Michael does right now? That's I try to understand. Like how you guys do.
Yeah, I personally think that Michael has fallen out of his fundamental pronation. His ability to protect his pronation is not as solid as it once was.
No, it's not what I'm asking, Neil. I am asking Neil different thing. I'm asking, how do you describe like what kind of technique he is doing right now?
Halfway house. Really, he's attempting certain things. They're not coming off, and he's not
what's the name
able
of it?
to protect. He attempted a top roll at one point, almost got it. Started to lose the integrity in his hand and wrist, went back to the King's move, but couldn't protect his pronation as well. Ended up palm up early. And when he did have that palm up experience, obviously then it's neutralized him a great deal. But if you look at how Gennady was reacting to that, it wasn't that Gennady did it that amazingly well and in a textbook manner. It was that it was easily accessible in Mike. That's my honest opinion of it. I don't think that Mike is doing the King's move as well as he did, and I don't think he's able to protect his pronator as well as he did. That's my honest opinion on that. I think there are a couple of little tweaks there, and I'm not bothered if he goes back that route because, as I say, Mike for me is a lot more than that. There's a couple of guys in the chat. I'm not reading a lot of the chat, but the guys in there that are saying, "Oh, Neil's just a fanboy." Watch the videos. Go watch the videos. See if I'm lying. Check it out.
No, Neil is not lying. Neil has his own, thing. But I will tell you something. Like when he lost against Turbin, Michael, Turbin found that, way. And then I think Gennady is also good enough to do that. If it's not the exact same way to pull.
Yeah, he is. Gennady
I saw that the guy had strategy. If Michael's hand didn't handle, I mean, we need to give also credit to Gennady as well. We can't say that Michael is that bad because that's why,
As John was saying earlier, how much credit do you give to Gennady? You've got to give Gennady a lot of credit because he's a very, very complete arm wrestler. Always has been a very, very complete arm wrestler. He's excellent at what he does. He's an exciting arm wrestler. And if you make a mistake against him, you will get punished. He's very good.
The good thing, Neil, 2 years old, the COVID thing, we didn't know who was where. And now Kurdesha beat Hermes beat Gennady beat Michael. At least we will have some sense-making ranking. Of course, styles make matches. Maybe if the other guy pulls other guy, the result may be different. I don't know. But at least now, good that, it is not only about, like guessing. We started to see at least who is where. By the way, who do you think that Gennady wants to pull next? Any guesses? He told me twice, and then he said, "Engin, please."
Chafee.
Yeah, I was going to go Dave Chafee.
Correct.
Guys, let's just knock over a few super chats real quick because we've got a ton that have built up that I've not been knocking over. So we'll go through these. Let's have a look. And then we'll get back onto that as well because I think there's a lot of matches come out of yesterday that are probably going to come up real soon. So we'll just get past that and we'll open this up. Okay. Joe Mama with a super chat. He's put, "Neil, please forward this to Core Sports. It will double their technical budget." Thanks for that, mate. Obviously had a raw experience. I thought the cameras were really solid. Thought a lot of that was really, really good. Had some issues with the audio, which is unfortunate. I just got kicked out a few times. But other than that, for what I paid for it, I thought it was well worth the money. I really did. So Sarsum with a super chat. "Why is John considered number one in his weight class after beating Zoloff? Since when was Zoloff considered number one at 100 kilos? He even lost to Plamen at the WF at 90 kilos. And that's a fair point. I think that it was more around just a Legends super match, two names that a lot of people wanted to see in a super match. And certainly in that respect, I thought it did its job. It was a super engaging match.
I think that also
massive names.
I think also there is no 100% hard and fast official number one rank, but there is very reasonable debate now that John is number one at 100. You can't deny that. There's very reasonable debate that he is number one at 100. I mean, who you saying Plumman would beat John? I don't think so, in my opinion.
John is definitely in the conversation. When he shows up ready, he's definitely in the conversation for that, without question. If you look at the manner in which John took Zoloff apart yesterday, I mean, let's not make any bones about it. It was dominant. It was extraordinarily impressive. And if you think that's an easy task, have a go. Go and have a do. See how you go on.
I'd love to see Hutchins and Brzezinski for old time's sake. Go at it.
Oh, it's going to happen, mate. That's going to happen. Let's knock these over and then we'll move on. So, Matt, tickle my limits, Lara. He's put, "Neil, when can we see Iron House? I'm dying over here. I know it's red line intense. I need to see more wars. Ray was sexy." Mate, I can't get over that shirt and belt combo. It was amazing. I can't believe he's not on tonight. It would have come up. Iron House will probably be about 9-10 weeks away, I would imagine. We're going to finish all the reality check and then we'll go straight onto Armour's Iron House. So Carolyn Looms of the Uncle John crew is in with a super chat. She's put, "Ray and Yanis were amazing. Ray, great MC of an event that actually is super smart and knowledgeable. Giannis, intuitive, and as you say, Uncle John, great duo. Loves the Latvian connection. Let's have a look. What else we got in here? Because I saw quite a lot come up. The Hunster, and he's put, why did John get mad at the ref in the first setup? Maybe one Engin could put some light on. I don't know.
It looked to me. I remember it well. It looked like they were straightening the wrist, and John felt he was being. It looked to me like John's wrist was now back, and John walked away like, "Come on, are you seriously going to put my wrist back there?" That's how I read it.
I was right at the front. It wasn't back, but it was already straight. I don't know what they wanted more, and then I had to say, "Come on, it's ready. Just give it a go." But they were like, "No. I don't know what happened. It is not. I mean, like even I am the organizer. Good that referees didn't do what I thought that was right thing to do, because I mean it is good that they just do what they believe. But to me, it was maybe a little bit supinated. It was John wanted to have here, and then I thought that John was uncomfortable, and I thought that John was going to lose his wrist because he just didn't want to go any straighter then. But when the match started, everything was totally different.
Yeah, he was absolutely ridiculous, that's for sure. So let's knock a few more of these bad boys over. I mean, a lot of people sent me messages immediately after talking about John. The only thing you can say about that is John was as impressive as he's been for many, many years. Never mind the resurgent John. I mean, he's had a bit of a rough go. He got tested a little bit by chance where he looked rusty. He was dominant against Paul, but Paul is no bum and worked him very, very hard. Devon, that was never going to be good.
Dimitri as well.
Dimitri Kachan was very impressive, in my opinion. I think he was well within himself against a very dangerous top roller. And then yesterday, holy shit.
But Zola of the highest caliber of all of the matches that John's had at his weight, with the exception of Devon, of course, I'm talking. And John puts in that performance where he just crushes him. You think, whoa, wow, he's back.
I'm just going to address something in the chat here from Kratos. Kratos, bit of a prick, mate. He's put, indeed, Neil, you are a fanboy. Michael didn't use his King's move with Gennady. Of course I'm a fanboy, mate. I'm Michael Todd's friend. I'm a fan of Michael Todd. Not worried about that. I've been friends with the guy for 20 plus years. But he didn't use his King's move. He was going for the King's move and didn't manage to pull it off. That's exactly what I was talking about. The fuck? Anyway.
I want to also say something, Neil. When they say that, since when Zoloev is 100, maybe not 100 kilo, but, okay, he lost. He was injured for sure. He lost versus Plemen, but he also beat Plemen countless times. He beat Rustem more than Rustem beat him. He beat Prudnik more than he beat him. He beat Sasha last time they met. I don't know, like under 95 kilo, he also beat Tatashins. Okay, who is the 95 kilo guy that is better than Zoloev if we judge it in a general opinion? 100, yeah, I agree. But under 95 kilo, who's better? Just tell me one name that is.
Maybe Babaev. Maybe Babaev.
No. Zoloev beats Babaev. Every time they play, he beats him.
Petrenko is the other name that people have been throwing around that I've seen.
Petrenko and Zoloev had 2018 World Final. Just go watch how long time it took.
Yeah.
There you go.
How many seconds? 3 seconds or something,
I'm just the messenger for the internet. I've seen a bunch
of
people
I'm just answering,
let's be honest, once it gets to a certain level, any man on any given day, it can change, once it gets to a certain level. It's as simple as that.
And I've seen a few people say Irakli and John would be interesting as well.
I'm sorry, but I think Irakli would beat him.
No, hold that thought, guys. We got to knock.
There's a match. There's the match.
No. If I said I will set Irakli versus Tatashins,
hold that thought as well.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Hold it. First of all, Jujimugu, Engin, did this event work out for you financially? And if so, will you do a similar East versus West 3, or did you end up losing money out of your own pocket?
I didn't lose any money. I barely covered it. But the only problem, if I don't do it again, is I cover it together with the GoFundMe with these T-shirts, and people are not gonna donate for T-shirt every event. So if these T-shirts were not here, I would lose about $15,000. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and we've got 950 people in here as well, and I know I had a lot of people being critical, and I thought unfairly critical of the Core Sports live stream, of people shitting on the production value, people saying there's no budget, people saying they mustn't have tested the mics and all that sort of stuff. Okay, production is hard to get right. This is everyone doing such a big effort, trial and error, and retweaking the efforts is something that takes time and process. And given where we're at in the sport, it really frustrates me when I see people being critical of such efforts. I thought you did an amazing job. And I know I've been trying to refine my production value for 9 years, and I'm still making mistakes, and I'll continue to make mistakes. But what you did, Engin, I thought was fantastic, and I hope that people grow up a bit and understand how hard it is to get it right, given the place that the sport's coming from, given how much personal investment you put in. I can't thank you enough for what you did for the sport. So
thank you. But I will say something. Those people paid money. I think that they deserve as high quality as broadcasting possible. So
that's awesome.
There are mistakes after the first technical break. The rest, the video broadcasting was smooth. This is like from 99% of people told me. The first was lagging, and then after that it was perfect. But there was a sound problem. But just remember, guys, this is the first professional event I ever organized. I did, but this is the first time I sold a product. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but the only thing is that no matter if it is technical issue, this or that, I'm the responsible one. I am the one who promoted this. I'm the one who organized this. And I will only take lessons. And if we organize again, then we will do discounts for the people who buy this event, the West East versus West 2, so that they would be okay with us. We will for sure do a discount, but they can still continue watching this on Core Sports right now. Listen, we can't blame people, but I love people who do those criticism in a positive manner, Yeah. But the people, there are some people, they just want to harsh, you understand? Those people and that people I separate, and then for those people with good intention, that I if there are mistakes, I apologize them. But I, as Engin Terzi, I'm expert about those setting those matchups, and I think we all agree that they were mostly very good matchups.
Yeah, no doubt,
even Oleg versus Betkili wasn't that easy as people were thinking, right? Yeah, it was war. Betkili didn't look like he has a chance to win, but Oleg had to kill himself to win those.
Hold that thought, and we're gonna get drawn into other matches before we knock these bad boys over, and there's a lot of them on there. Just on the people, however, that are really harsh and are just being harsh critics for no apparent reason or an unjustifiable level, Ryan has actually come up with a very simple form of sign language to deal with it. Ryan, do you want to show us what that is?
No, I can't do that. What are you talking about? I'm the nicest guy. I'm taking Pauline's place.
Bottled it. So
David, he wanted you to show your middle finger or something.
Oh, both. Yeah, he does both.
I can't offend Engin.
So here we go. David with a super chat. Mike's pronator and wrist aren't the same since he injured it. He doesn't pull like he did in 2018-19. He's always under his opponent now. Thank you very much for your super chat, mate. And Clark's93 with a super chat. Engin, who wins in the hook? Hutchins or Prudnik? Hold that thought.
Oh, yeah. That's coming. I love you guys. You guys are incredible questions. This is what we were discussing today.
That's the one that, we were talking a moment about who's next for who. it's coming, mate. That
But I
whole
will tell you something. You don't want to go into there, but do you know who's the like even already superstar? But the guy, I mean, incredible arm master, incredibly entertaining guy. I don't know if you watch any part of the press meeting, but that guy.
Who, Prudnik?
Prudnik, yeah.
Oh, mate.
I mean, Prudnik is
well, you know what I said last time.
I have a video footage today. Because they both didn't want to sign before the event. Today, I told them, no signature, no money. And I made them sit, and then they are signing and teasing each other. And I'm filming them. You should see that. You should see how I will post it, and you will see. You know that guy is incredibly. If he learns more English, then you will see that guy. The whole world will be fan of him. You will see that guy, and he's incredible arm master.
The guy's friggin' awesome. So we got Captain Marge with a super chat. He's put, has Engin and Neil ever gripped up for fun or otherwise? Future side event. I do not want to walk past Engin Terzi, mate. I've been retired for 6 years, and that son of a monkey is getting stronger as he gets older. He's pulling your practice table stuff I saw sneaking out there, Engin. Just getting some prep in for John. Hey?
You're beating up Coach Ray.
Oh, God. I mean, what's that about? Cruel. So, Big Grove Goats with a super chat. He's put, Engin, my hat's off to you. Epic event. I'm not an arm wrestler, but there were a couple of times I got choked up watching. Paul has a tall order in Ron, in my opinion. Ron was amazing.
That match is one of the best matches in the history. Not only the excitement of the event, but the athletes, one of the greatest of all times.
Tremendous match, mate.
And the multiple time world champions, Rob. I mean, how can you not be amazed by either of them? How can you? Like, are you not amazed by how Zurab fought? And are you not amazed how
Zurab came out yesterday as a star from that event in that he showed himself and he showed his character, his desire and his will. I think a lot of people who were very familiar with Ron already knew that about Ron Bath, but they didn't know it about Zurab. And what better person to bring it out of anyone than Ron Bath, because that man gets in some scraps. And it was
this guy, whenever I offer him a match, I said, like he said, Engin, give me a left arm match too. I said, like my budget is limited. He says, I don't want money for extra. He said, I just want to pull it. It's for integrity, you know. And that guy, did you see that? You know, he doesn't lose his peace and everything, even after he wins. How he's, you know, respectful to the run. Mm-hmm. And then you are amazed by Zurab, but like I am probably twice amazed by Ron. At that age, he did everything he could. He pushed his limits. Nobody could do any better than that with the skills and the tools that Ron had.
Oh,
and yeah. But it was incredible.
The size difference in the structure is I mean, when you looked at the weigh-in, you could see the difference in just the physicality of the men. I know Zurab's got an enormous amount of muscle packed onto him, but you could see the difference in Ron and Zurab, and the never say die attitude that Ron has shown throughout his career was reflected right back at him by that young man last night, and it was ace, and it made for an incredibly entertaining match. For me, by far the most entertaining match, not even close.
Yes, and I was mostly amazed by their spirit, that how they push their limits like to the death. You know that I don't know how to say that character, that deep spirit that they had it. They were like, no, I'm not gonna give up. They both were stubborn. You know, they are like, I'm not gonna give up. Yeah, and then
absolute death.
Yes,
there was nothing left. It was amazing to watch. And if that isn't a rematch, I don't know what is. Because I'll tell you what, people will buy that. They will buy that. Everybody wants to see that one again. It was an absolute blinder, and the fact that it finished in the circumstances it did only adds to that for me, really. So let's knock some of these over. Kevin Tamko with a super chat. He's put, great card, Engin. But did anyone catch Bowen's production the day before? Were those super matches in the same room as the commentary booth, Ryan?
Yeah, they were. They were in the same room, indeed. And it was an awesome day. We put on 6 matches, and it was phenomenal. We had 2 silver bullet matches where it went down to the wire, and it was, as a commentator, it was so awesome to be right next to the table. So yeah, I could almost reach out and touch them because you could feel the energy of these guys, and it helped me come to life. So yeah, the goal for me is 6 months in this room, as it is. I'm going to be the next month. My goal is to bring out an international, and then just keep expanding. But then eventually, hopefully 6 months from now, that's the goal for me, is to go and hire a commercial piece of property and build staging and lighting that'll be permanent fixture, where once a month I can put on big events.
Tremendous, mate. Great aspiration. So the C4RB 1N3 with a super chat. I think Michael needs to start climbing too, maybe. Thanks for your super chat, mate. V Pose with a super chat, and he's put, good job, Engin. That was incredible. Great event. MVPs were Brezink, Quickvinia, and Hutchins for me. Chance showed that he has world level strength, but like Morozov, he needs training and fine tuning. Yeah, a lot of lessons learned about a lot of people there, and it was great for them. The spirit in which that was conducted was great as well. Hermes Graspawini with a super chat. MMT is going to get his arm broken. Gennady knew it, and he knew for sure Gennady is too strong. So big Gennady Quickvinia fan right there. Ricky Bobby with a super chat. Michael needs to stop giving up everything in the setup and fight. After that restart in round 2, he shouldn't have started. Gennady was way over him. Then we got the C4RB 1N3 again with a super chat, and he's put Michael was climbing in his match when he beat Devon. So to evidence what he was saying earlier on, he really does think he needs to look for that height in the match. Karaoke Vic with a super chat. My favourite point in the night was watching Engin pin the guy in the after pulls. He's still a beast. Oh, yes, he is, mate. Don't worry about that.
Not really.
Chris Gamo with a super chat. Engin, great job, brother. 4 guys who are basically carrying this sport on their back for the most part. Thanks, gents. Appreciate it, Chris. Thank you for your super chat. Karaoke Vic with another super chat. After seeing John win the last match, I think he is getting better each month. I would 100% agree with that comment. He challenged Devon too early. Give him 6 months or more, and I think he will be ready for a rematch. Let's see what shows up in 6 months from Devon. You never know.
Those days of John beating best super heavyweights are over.
I agree.
John needs to focus around his 242 and under. Yeah.
I agree.
I told John, he came back. He was so upset. Wasn't sure if he wanted to put Zolev or not. And he said, maybe Michael, have a, something for that. And I said, John, you have fans. And now you start the YouTube thing. I mean, like, I don't think that your fans would like to, you to just pull the super heavyweights just because his offer is so good or something. Of course, it's good, but I mean, they want you to win as well. How about you win in one match or something every 6 months, like that way, instead of you just dominate your category and then you will pull like 2-3 matches, you will make the same amount. Of course, it's his, but I think that he can still be king around his weight.
Yeah, what was said a minute ago, in that he's in the conversation for the very best at the 100 kilo class, without question, it's true. There's no doubt about that. John's demonstration yesterday completely underlined that. I know when he was getting ready to come back and have a crack at the top 8, there was a lot of questions around that, whether he could recover, whether he'd be able to compete with the men around that level. Well, I think those questions got answered in absolutely resounding fashion yesterday.
And yes. About Devon and John, Wafros, same weight, possible.
Same weight.
Weight difference, yeah.
The difference is, will Devon be that guy again? We'll see. Maybe he will. There's a lot of twists and turns in the road.
I would like to see them 240 Wafros, quick setup, quick start, but same weight. Then he will have better chance for sure.
100%.
I'm not saying he will win, but better chance.
Not ideal. And I'd like to see John. There's so many matches for John out there, and John's so fluid and well-rounded. So many, and he's brave. He'll pull guys where they want to arm wrestle. And that's what makes John so exciting. He'll take the match into that deep water and make it entertaining. And that's one of his biggest strengths for me. So Dizzy Busy 88 with a super chat. Do you all think MMT might have lost some mental focus due to all of the focus on the social side of arm wrestling? Possible. It's possible. I think without a shadow of a doubt, that is possible. We'll try and get Mike on and get his opinions of it shortly as well. It's been a while since we've had a good catch up with Mike. Bronze Pitbull with a super chat. Are we going to acknowledge the fact that Michael is now 0-2 outside of WAL rules? One of those losses to somebody defeated in the WAL. I think, yeah, we have pretty much acknowledged that, mate, to be fair.
We've done.
Yeah, Michael was very aware of it going into this. I know even in the press conference, Engin asked him, obviously, do you feel any pressure going into this? Because if you lose this match, which is your second on the bounce, it puts you outside of the top five. And to be fair to Michael Todd, the man has taken it on the chin. You know, you can't take it any more on the chin than he has. So fair play to him there. Matt Muro with a super chat. Can you guys discuss all the talk online of Michael having nerve damage in his hand and wrist? I see tons of people saying his pronation is gone. I don't know whether anything is due to damage in his hand and wrist or anything else, and I'd have to speak to Mike about that. But
he told me he was back.
He told you what, mate?
He said that right now my hand and wrist came back.
Okay, so that
it was a bonus to his arm, and really he looked like a mountain.
Oh yeah,
I thought that he was going to destroy Gennady. He looked.
I thought he was going to win.
He looked that way, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, as I say, I can't wait to catch up with Mike. He's a very honest lad. I'm sure he'll tell us exactly the score. But yeah, I had him picked to win. All credit to Gennady Quickvenia. Pulled it off and looked excellent doing it. Looked really impressive and really exciting. Juji Mugu with a super chat for Uncle John's perfect imitation of a still rock. Bastard. Don't stand for it, John. Quite funny though. He's put a couple of good ones in tonight, Juji Mugu, to be fair. Joe Mama with a super chat. Engin and John are my two favourite arm wrestlers. How does Engin see their match unfolding?
Oh, I will tell you. Last June, I had serious bicep injury. 2 months, I didn't do anything. And then I started with half kilo, 1 kilo, slowly. So about near November, I started training seriously. And near mid-January, I was in very good shape. When I go to Seychelles, it was right 2 months before the match. And then in Seychelles, I got COVID. And then it took about like 20 days. And I heavily experienced it. Couldn't, and yesterday, even when I was pulling, like I'm not in good shape at all, but like 1 match, 2 match, and then suddenly I feel like, you know, just everything is going away. You know, I don't know if it is COVID effect or something that I get quickly tired, or is it because of the event, stress, and then like everything was so exhausting, but like fresh power, I felt like, you know, not bad, but I mean, only 5 weeks left. I mean, yeah, of course he's going to, I don't want to say, but, you know, just, I was at least expecting him, you know, to cause some problems, but let's see. I'm not going to go there. Okay, go, John, or something, but I don't think that there will be any surprise. Sorry, but.
Yeah. I think, sorry, swallowed a penis there or something. Don't know what happened there, guys. Quite bad. But yeah, I think a lot of people are looking forward to that, Engin, but they've got to be mindful of the fact as well that you just have come off the back of COVID. So it'll be interesting to see whether you can. And the other day you were coughing big time when you came on the show. So you sounded rough as a robber's dog.
It's getting better now. It's getting better.
Yeah, you sound better today, mate, without a shadow of a doubt.
If as I said, if John would lose Zolev, I would never forgive him. You know, I would just say,
being a bit harsh, like, you know.
I don't want to be alone there.
Yeah, it's quite harsh, that, mate, I want to say. So, Devil Raper, or Devil Rapper. I always say Devil Raper. I'll never know whether I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, he's going to be really...
Quite a difference. Quite a difference.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference there. Hopefully it's Devil Raper, because that's what I call him. And he's put, Neil, what a great event that was. I enjoyed every single bit of it. I really hope we see a rematch of Rombath versus Zurab.
Ooh,
Yes, mate.
war.
And we need another Prudnik. Tell you, Prudnik, we're going to get into that in a minute. But Matt Tickle Millimeters Larrick with a super chat. He's put less hating on athletes who are better than any of us. Will ever be, and more talk about how awesome certain matches will be. Only one guy can win any match. Correct, mate? That is absolutely the case. Ricky Bobby with a super chat. Ryan, I heard you're already making excuses and the RVJ match may be off. Care to clarify if your visa has been accepted? Do you know?
100% my visa is approved. Exemptions good to go. I have nothing stopping me from being in Dubai, ready to face RVJ.
There we go. Clear and present. Let's have a look. Mark Squiguera. Engin, sir. Whenever you come to Dubai, I will take you out for some tennis lessons and burgers on the beach. Thank you and bless you. Thanks very much for your super chat, Mark. Much appreciated. Are you any good at tennis, Engin?
No.
Okay.
I like ping pong.
Nice.
Table tennis.
Should have taken Michael Todd on yesterday.
Yeah, but I don't play like this, but I play mostly.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Pascal Girard technique. Yeah.
Yeah. Like very limited arm of motion, you know.
Yeah.
Big Grove Goats with a super chat. He's put honest opinion from everyone of Hutchins versus anyone else in North America in 2022. And Engin, why didn't any Americans after pull?
I don't know. You know how it happened about Hutchins, for example?
Mm-hmm.
He just staying with the clothes in the bag. Like you would think that he's like traveling from Chicago to Ohio or something, he just came to the stage like that, and then he just take everything off, beat Jordan, he put everything and he just gone. I don't know where he was. It just like this thing, it just happened.
We all saw it. We all saw it on the stream. It looked hilarious the way he just packed up his bags off. He went. We're just like, look at that, just casual business done. See you later. Next.
Well, he was pretty much like that with. I think it was Lachlan.
Actually. Yeah, he was like that. Lachlan didn't even get to speak to him afterwards. He was gone.
Yeah.
I think it was actually Lachlan told me he was like that at their match. He just rolled up, pulled, and left.
Truly professional arm wrestler.
Can't argue with that.
He's like a hitman right now.
I was there because watching all those matches, I get hyped. Prudnik match was so quick, and I went to Prudnik while sitting. We pulled. One time he underestimated me, and the second he hold, I was like this, and then he get me, and then after that, one guy, there is a millionaire guy. He loves arm wrestling. He said, but Prudnik acted like he didn't like so much felt me or something, like he was acting. And then the guy said, ask Hutchins, if you would pull right now, because both Hutchins and Prudnik won easy. Yep. They were not tired. If they would pull a super match. And I asked Prudnik, he was like, oh, why did you not say this before I pull you? I said, I thought you were, like having an easy time, Mm-hmm. And then we asked Todd. Todd said he's not gonna pull. He said, Engin, you put in so many matches in same event, just save some excitement for the next. But the only problem about Todd, every time I ask Todd, would you pull this guy? Every time I talk with him, he goes $2,000 higher. And he says, I'm capitalist thing. So, and I was like, next time I want to ask you directly set the match because if I ask you one more time, you will go up all the time,
Yeah, and Toddzilla is ridiculous. We'll get onto that in a sec. Carolyn Looms. Engin, thanks for the matches that we wouldn't normally see, like Angie Rose. She was incredible. P.S. Ray needs his own clothing line now. Ray wear, 100%. And it's got to be in polka dot with matching belts. Amazing. Patrick, thanks for your super chat. What should be next for Schoolboy? We're going to run through all of these in a second in terms of who we think for the next guys. And Danny Bio 1, thanks for your super chat, mate. No comment on there, just supporting there. So TMTL, what about the female matches? An awesome event, Engin. Yeah, the female matches, I thought Fia looked incredible. Angie, and that was actually a bloody good match.
Mm-hmm.
you know. So it was one of the better matches on the night, to be perfectly honest. I didn't catch all of it, so I got booted off the stream at that point and missed the end of that. I was on to James and it kicked me off for no apparent reason, which is a bit of an annoyance. Let's have a look. Danny Boyle 1. MMT does not seem like he can sick the wings move like in the WAL. So Tomas Quevedo, thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put, the match to see is Hutchins versus Sasho or Irakli. Would you love to see Matt versus Arif also? And I'm also looking forward to Dave Chafee versus Hermes. Well, that's going to come, isn't it, in the top 8? They're both on the loser's side. Although I don't know when.
I'm not sure about this.
Do you know what, John? Have you seen any dates on that at all?
I'm not.
Yeah, well, Ryan, you seen any dates on that match on the Hermes and Dave thing? I don't think I've missed any.
I haven't seen any dates for that.
Pabnaful with a super chat. He's put, under WAF rules and neutral conditions with a catch weight of 235 pounds, we're getting specific here, I believe John would beat Devon. John was totally unprepared after a 6-year layoff to face a nearly 300-pound Devon. Devil Ray put with a super chat, and he's put, Engin and Neil, thoughts on Youssef and Cherkasov? I thought that went down pretty much as I expected it would, if I'm honest. And to be honest, Youssef's start was very impressive. He's rock strong in that hook. A lot of people thought that'd be an absolute mismatch. But it shows just the level of power, the level of top end strength that's there.
What was the weight difference there? Youssef looked significantly bigger.
No.
Is there
No. They weigh in. I mean, Yusuf weigh in front of him. Yusuf was about 73.2 and Yusuf was Cherkasov was 72.4. I think 800
wow,
grams.
Yusuf must have no legs on him at all because he looked
Not at all. No belly, no butt, and the pants walks by itself.
Because visually, I thought he had 10 kilos on
No. He's current. Listen, he's current 65 kilo world champion. He just 2 months ago won 143s.
Dude's friggin' venom.
That's ridiculous.
So Roger Cunningham, thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put Todd stoic as absolutely he is. Very. NWUK1 with a super chat. I'm a huge Michael Todd fan, but I don't think Gennady is getting enough praise. He looked a different animal than in the Hermes match. Do you know if he was heavier this time? Because he looked huge. He was very heavy. What was he, 147 kilos? He was massive. And he looked amazing. I think the match with Hermes, he said he was damaged. What I can say, he looked reinvigorated. We've seen it. We talked about it a moment ago. Toddzilla took an ass whipping, came back stronger. John took an ass whipping, looks amazing right now. Sometimes that getting a shoe broken off in your ass is just what you need to reinvigorate you. Every man's got a choice, or every person's got a choice, and certainly, what can I say? They've reacted well to that. And Toddzilla and John looked incredible. Gennady last night never looked better. Absolutely impressive, and it's onwards and upwards. And Engin's already told us who he wants next. So, yeah. Very, very exciting matches to come in that respect. Mr. Percolate 80 with a massive super chat. Mate, what a leg end. Thank you very much, brother. Your shirt should be on its way to you as well. And he's put, hi all. Engin, many thanks for putting on the Enigma of Rage 2 show. Some great matches. Prudnik is just a beast. Only love here for the arm wrestlers, win or lose, no hate. This world is not black and white. Also, Ryan, great show the other day. The Burnett boys are beasts. Thank you very much for your super chat, mate. Lance Lenz, love your show and thanks, Engin. Would you please give your top 5 arm wrestlers ranking in the world right now in the super heavyweight division?
I mean, I can tell you number 1 and number 2, which is Levan and Laletin. And then next 3, Kurdesha, Hermes, and Devon. But of course, Kurdesha will rank above Devon. Hermes, because he beat him. But we don't know where Devon is.
No,
I don't know where Devon is. Yeah, but he may be 3. He may be 3. He may be.
Prior to this event, did you have a different list? Was Devon higher prior to Gennady beating Michael?
I mean, do you want to hear the truth?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Because I mean, Michael has huge dreams. You understand? I really respect that guy. He has been like nobody has fought to reach his dreams as much as he did. He was not like top of the world, about 20 years ago. He was just very, 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 very good, but not the elite he was. Now, when I say elite, I'm talking about the John level, that level, And then this guy really, really fought, and then came to different level. But I kind of think that about 130 kilo, 128 kilo Hermes, I think would beat him. That's what I am saying. But
just from a stylistic perspective, you mean?
Yeah. I think he has tools to beat him. But like I once wrote that at the time I and Devon were not talking to each other. I said I think Devon is going to beat Michael, and then 5 minutes later, Michael wrote me a message like, "What do you base on, to say this?" So I explained, I think your hand and front piece is not going to handle, whenever he does the back pressure, and then you're gonna, lose your hand. Is exactly almost same happened that way. So I don't know. I sometimes until it's proven, I don't want to say something, you understand? Like I don't want, because Michael sees himself somewhere different, and he is there. He's good, but I just think that Hermes, who gave him trouble when he was near 25 kilo lighter, this Hermes is someone different. And I think, of course, Michael said that he was in a vacation or something. He just went to Italy. He wasn't like ready or something. I kind of think that Hermes would beat him. Hermes would.
Of course. But Devon, I'm curious. Did you because you ranked Devon at number 5? Then did you have Devon at 5 before this event?
No, I didn't say Devon number 5. Did I say Devon number 5? I didn't say that. I said Devon maybe. I said Kurdesha is above Hermes, but we don't know Devon if Devon is above Kurdesha or no. I don't know where is it.
Okay, haven't decided.
Yeah. So I don't know. But today I was, of course we were just like joking aside, and I asked Hermes, like, what do you think about? He provoked. He knew that I was filming, and he said, Engin, why do you think that Devon never pulls the Europeans? And he wanted to take me into the argument. You understand? And then so I said, I don't know. I said, why do you think? Because if he wanted to start shit, let him start. You understand? And then he said that because he knows that he's gonna lose, he just wanted to pull number 1 guy. So if he loses, he's gonna say, okay, I lost to number 1 guy. And I said, how do you know? Maybe he will continue pulling the other guys as well, And I said, what do you think your chance? Can you beat him? He said, with the waffles, 100%. And then how about with other rules? Oh, he says, okay, there he has 1% chance. That's what he said.
Oh, so Devon has a 1% chance in the other rules.
Yeah, because the rules are different, not the wealth, But you need to like Hermes. We need this kind of guys too. You go there. Hey, what do you think about this match? You guys are, oh, I have so much respect for him. I will do my best, and then we will do. That is not gonna sell. That match is not gonna sell. This guy just went to Dubai for Gennady match, and it's supposed to be between Devon and John. He just was like, bring the table, let's go. That's the spirit that we need.
Perfect.
That guy believes in himself and he challenges, you know what I mean? Yeah, just
no one's gonna watch
Filthy Power Brandon Allen walked into that press conference and shone. Filthy Power Brandon Allen was amazing there. Nobody knew who he was, but I'll tell you what, they did coming off the back of that. And I thought he was amazing. Prudnik in the presser the other day was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. There's always some.
Imagine that Hermes and Prudnik are pulling. You will see. I saw today a short version of it. If these guys would pull, like you would see, Prudnik is making fun with Hermes. He says, Engin, I'm a cold guy at the table. I go like this, and this. And I said, how does Hermes do? Hermes, he said, Hermes goes, whoa, 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 whoa. He was just acting, and Hermes was laughing like crazy. I will post that video. You will see. You know,
that's another match that's going to happen. I think they're all
not yet.
No,
There's
they're
some
coming.
difference. He said that. Okay, I asked, why you don't pull Hermes now? He said that, oh, he's like an opera singer or something. He said that his suit, doesn't fit on him. His costume doesn't fit on him. So that's why I said, you were 90 kilo. Now you're 110 kilo. We can make a big costume for you. Just go for it, But
yeah, there's not many people look like that when you go down the opera ordinarily, is there? My God, dude looks like he'd been carved out of rock. Absolutely unbelievable. But in my opinion, as I said last night, when that guy shows up focused and ready, I think he is the very best in the world, pound for pound, right now. I really do. I think when that guy shows up, when he's focused and ready, he is unbelievable and super well-rounded. Certainly one of my favorites, if not my favorite at the moment. Professor Hammer Bill with a super chat. Oleg Chikasov is the Russian Danny Tesh. I'll tell you what, he's certainly strong, and we saw how much endurance he's got. He's very similar to the Hoagland Tesh mode in that respect. Just not sure he invented beer or shagging. Cybernetic Module with a super chat. John versus Todd is the match to make. Both were on absolute tears recently, though I think Hutchins has his number. Well, I'll tell you what, that's another one which is definitely going to happen. It's just where. It's probably not going to be Engin's place because Todd puts it up by $2,000 every single time. But yeah, there's no doubt about it. That match will happen. The Hunter with a super chat, and he's put thoughts on how strong Devon looked against Dimitri Kachan. Yeah, all over social media. Devon, I heard amazing things about. I'm not going to focus too much on it because we've got to keep a focus on the East versus West. But whenever it takes place at a practice table setting, you never can tell. The only thing that I would say is Devon had pulled more than anyone else from how I understood it, and he was very comfortable with Dimitri. But obviously being a top roller and Devon being as strong in the pronator and having the longest arm in the world does help. There's no doubt about that.
Today, Americans were chatting with each other. They said that, Dimitri doesn't train. He trains only when he has a match or something. And they said that his shape was much better when he pulled John. But still, no matter what, they want to pull 5 minutes before that and still hold him and not to feel him. He didn't even move. It just gives some ideas that this guy is getting ready.
Yeah, without a doubt. Absolutely exceptional performance. There's no doubt about it. Carolyn Loomis with chat. So Carolyn Looms, or Looms, I always call it Looms. I don't know whether that's right. Carolyn, we ever meet up, you can kick me in the dick if I've been calling you the wrong name for a long period of time. Angie Rose, please make a docu-training video. I want to buy it. Uncle John, wonder if this amazing lady would come on your show. Man, she is awe-inspiring. I'm sure that Angie would go on John's show. Reckon he'd be able to set that up pretty damn quick. Pabnaful with a super chat. Can we see Engin Terzi versus Ryan Bowen at East versus West 3 at 195 pounds?
Yeah, Ryan, you know what I remember now? You wrote to me before the event, right? And I said, I will be back to you. Now when they said about this, now I remember it. Sorry about it. There was hundreds of messages. And then I forgot about it. I apologize.
Well, that's okay. Look, it'd be an absolute honor to pull you, Engin.
He said that you wanted to pull me,
Yeah, I'd be down for it for sure. I think for me to get to East versus West, we just need the travel situations and the quarantines. For King, I can get to King of the Table because they got a big budget. My budget at the moment is probably bigger than Toddzilla's just because I got to pay for hotel quarantine when I get home and all that sort of stuff. But so once that quarantine stuff is gone on return, the world opens back up to me as a unvaccinated traveler, then I'll be everywhere. And Engin, I would love to. I would love to experience the Enigma of Rage.
So, Harmerson with a super chat. I'm behind the live broadcast by half an hour, but I'm curious if Engin remembers the Michael Todd versus Chafee in their most recent match when Monster was above the table.
Was he above the table in that match?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, way up actually.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, you know, we've been over that one, but I do think there's, and I'm going to get Mike on, and Mike will talk about it, I'm sure, and give us his insight on that, and nobody knows it better. That's my honest opinion, is that his technique has changed slightly, and he's out of focus on that, and it's just costing him. But as I say, I think there's a lot of positives to come off it. I'd love to see Michael drop down a bit, concentrate on losing a little bit of weight.
Neil, how many super chats you had today? How many super chats? You probably had 100 of them.
A lot. Yeah, a lot. Just on that, guys, please don't send any more super chats, because we're going to
just send. But
for anybody who's worried about Engin and us keeping Engin awake after he's had very minimal sleep, please don't worry. He's only got another 1,300 t-shirts to sign, so it'll be okay.
Hey, I saw the beer man in here giving me some shit about not talking enough. So let me take this moment to say something. Now that we saw Herman Stevens versus Schoolboy, how bad would have the beer man's ass been kicked by Schoolboy?
Ooh,
yeah. I think so too. I think it would have been very one-way traffic. Sorry, Evan. You know I love you. I might repost that video of us again this week. But I think Schoolboy
on Evan like that.
I think Schoolboy would have crushed Evan, because Evan's really exclusively an inside puller. He's not going to threaten up top like Herman did. Herman had aces everywhere. He had deception. He used it well, and he kind of caught Schoolboy off guard a couple of times. And I love that little dog fight that they had in round one at the top there. It looked like two dogs scrapping in a yard with their hands and fingers. It went from top roll to hook 3.5 times before they slipped. But Herman did well. I thought he did well, but Schoolboy's just showed that he stayed calm, cool, collected, and once he got it in control, he was just too strong. So, but Herman, well done.
I'd like to see a really fresh, prepped Herman against Schoolboy. I think that'd be a different match, personally. I really do. I think Herman can be arm wrestler X and arm wrestler Y, and if he comes in ready and focused with a lot of prep, I think Herman's a handful. But Herman, you know, we go around about, I've told him a lot of times when we've been chatting it through, I think he's got massive talent. If he has the opportunity where his focus was aligned with his talent level, very difficult man to beat. For me, Evan would be a better match lefty with Schoolboy, if I'm honest.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it's much better, makes much more sense. I'm not knocking Evan's right, but his right's okay, but it's not his left. And I think his left is rock strong. And I think that's the match to make if we were going to do.
The question that Evan asked was, would Schoolboy take that left-handed match?
I don't know. I
want to say something, Neil. When you say that there are some matches, then there needs to be like a revenge match, you know, again. I think that this kind of things need to happen in different organizations. It has to happen, but I would want some different organizations to also experience this excitement.
Yeah.
Instead of the same place, same next event, and the same guy again. You understand? I think they need to pull, first of all, they need to pull some other people, and then eventually, you know, they pull each other again. It would be better, you know.
Well, I know I want Todd Zilla versus John Brzenk. That's the match I want. And I'll tell you why. Because they're both incredible arm wrestlers with an incredible legacy. And to be perfectly honest, I genuinely believe that their story and the story of that match should be told in the best possible light. And the arm wrestling films that we are putting out at the moment are the best that's ever been done in this sport. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'd love to also see Todd, you know, in an East vs West sense. I'd like to see Todd v Gennady. That would be, for me, I think Todd's up to the challenge. If Heavy Todd turns up, I think he's up for that challenge, and that'd be amazing.
You know, now I'm signing, and then right above my signature is Morozov, and this guy hurt his chest whenever he was hitting, you know, without control this way. And then he got hurt. He still came to the table and tried, but it didn't work. And then he just walked and came to me. He was like, sorry, Engin, sorry. His eyes, he wasn't crying, but his eyes were wet. And then he thought that he disappointed me or something. No, you are only responsible to do your best. You did your best. The injury, anything is part of it, you know. And like, I just, you know, friendly, you know, just hug him, you know, and they said, he did a great job, you know, just remember that this is integrity. You understand? Some people don't have this. I don't like it. some people just, I don't know, whatever happens, give me the cash, see you later. I hate that. You need to have some integrity. And
Honor.
yeah. I love it when this, because come on, I mean, there has to be behind this. Of course, money can be your motivation and everything, but I mean, you need to also, I mean, we are not only a material beings, you know, we have a spirit too. So whenever I see that, it is just a young man with the dreams. He just came, he thought that he could, but he just, and then, well, you know what funny thing happened? You guys will laugh. During the press conference, because Prudnik said tons of things, I'm going to destroy you and this, you are not at my level or something. And then Coach Ray said, made up something. He just made up. He just said, how about Morozov? We tell him that, you know, we had hard time with Ongarbayev, but you don't even feel, you don't even feel Ongarbayev. And he was like, okay, you know, but it's not real. They never pulled.
Yeah.
And just to steer the pot. And he said this. He said this. And then today, Mazgan Shamir, world champion, he just sent me a WhatsApp message. He says, Engin, that's not true. You know, this, I tried to explain. It is Coach Ray's, idea.
Coach Ray's there in the pot.
Hype the event. Yeah. And then he still started, they are posting on Facebook that, you know, it's not true. They never pulled, and then Morozov will be punished when he comes back to Kazakhstan. I was like, don't take it that seriously. You know, the guy has nothing to do with it. It's all Coach Ray's fault, you know.
Yeah, complete wind up.
You know, I saw that the Kazakhs put out a video, saying we won't punish you, but I dare you to come here and prove that point, because take on our number 2 guy. yeah, bloody Coach Ray, stir in the pot, getting everyone in trouble.
That's probably why he ducked tonight's show. Look, worried about the repercussions that could have come. Number 1 from the shirt and the belt combo, and number 2 for that. So Ricky Bobby with the last super chat of the night, and he's put, Engin destroyed everyone on the practice table. Don't let him fool you. He's insane. He could probably take Hutchins right now.
No. I want nothing of that guy. No, I don't want those joints. Just give me someone strong with the muscle and the half strength with the touching the joints, you know. I'm better with it.
Oh, mate, there's plenty of matches out there. Plenty of matches out there we can make without.
Hey, you know what I did? We were having like a picture with John, and then John said, okay, just film it video. And he said, it's 5 weeks. And then I just did like this. And it seemed like John did it, you understand? And then, after the event, of course, everyone is writing, did you see how he took Engin's hand or something? Of course, he can take it anyways, but he didn't do it, you know. And then after the match, probably 10 minutes later, he was having pictures, and I made him sit on a chair. Practice table was full. We hold in the air, and then let's go, you know. And then I took his wrist, and he's like, okay, my hand is still numb, you know. And then let's do it 10 minutes later. 10 minutes later, I came again, and then we did again. I did again, but my elbow was like, I did like this up. And then he really took me seriously. He said, you know, Engin, you lifted your elbow. I was like, what are you talking about, John? I mean, you would kill me. We are just laughing around, you know, just like, I mean, who am I, you know, to pull you, you know, just
watching for your technique in Norway. That's what it is. As long as you don't do it in Norway, he's just putting the cramps on you to make sure you don't do it. And it's only 5 weeks away, isn't it now? So you're on in Norway.
Even less than 5 weeks.
Hardanger Open. Is it the Hardanger Open?
Yes. Yeah. But this guy is naturally a light heavyweight guy. Yeah. And I have never pulled officially about 75 kilo. And I mean, structure and everything, like the same as Zolev.
You know, 55 kilo class, Engin.
Yeah, I started from 55 to 75. Yeah. So my hand and everything, I hit strong, but old now, but used to be very strong. But what I'm just saying, I don't have the structure. Same Zolev case. You understand? Same Zolev case. He told me, Engin, you know, Zolev is strong, but he's like smaller guy, you know, his hand and everything. He said, like, I can apply, you know, the huge hand, which hands he didn't hold. Clive Dean, Richard Lucas, Alan Karayev, Vaktan Yavahadze, you know, Alexei Voivoda, Denis Siplenko, Pushkar. This hand held all of them.
I'm dominated most.
What's that?
I'm dominated most.
Yeah. What I'm just saying that, you know, of course he's not as he used to be, but still, you know, just we're talking about I and him is just like different weight classes, different size of men, different muscle memory, you know,
Yeah.
just so it is near impossible, you know, that. But I was hoping that, you know, I would prepare good, and then no COVID, nothing, you know. I'm like, oh yeah, at least I will just give some trouble. But now I don't think there will be even trouble, but I will still do my best. As you know me, my nature is fighting spirit, but we will see.
Yeah, one of the matches I was going to ask about, was there any matches even on the practice table with Prudnik and Irakli, or
Yeah,
Todd and
yeah.
Irakli?
So no, Todd. Did you say Todd?
Todd and
No,
Irakli, or Prudnik and Irakli?
no. Todd. I told you, he came with those hoodies or something. He just came with the bag, you know, to the stage, and then he just take them off. He just won.
And
Put
he never
everything
came
off.
back at all. Even later on, he didn't. He just literally left.
No. He just directly went there for, you know, beer drinking, and then that was all. And then
What about
next
Prudnik?
time, 3 a.m. in the morning, I went to their room. He and John were just like, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. This and this and that. You should see the conversation. It was very funny.
Mm.
And Prudnik and Irakli pulled right after the event, but Prudnik pulled Morozov, and a little bit he pulled with me. And then he pulled with Irakli. He just wanted to have like control, and then Irakli hardly, but still beat him. But the buckle was on Prudnik's hand. And then I said, let's go one more time. And Irakli, oh, let me rest. I said, Irakli, you are not going anywhere. This guy pulls super match. You didn't pull anything. After one match, you're like, oh, let me rest or something.
Mm.
You want to just have your one win and then go away. You know, just come here, you know. And then we put the buckle on his hand next time. It wasn't easy, but again, but this time, you know, just Prudnik won. So it was 1-1.
Doesn't he? Big, you know, at that weight, around the 100-kilo mark, he looks big as well. He looks really strong.
They told me it was 105 kilo. And so they were like 1-1. And I was like, it's enough, you know, just stay here. So we have a story now to build for the future. You understand? Yeah.
Pump up the jam. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
I'm learning how to be a promoter. Huh?
This takes us on to what we were talking about, mate, earlier on. Okay. If you were focused on which matches you like coming off the back of yesterday and lessons that we learned from yesterday, what were the matches that you want to see most going forward, mate? You, Engin.
For the future matchup?
Yeah.
The future matchup?
Mm.
I mean, I want to see Irakli versus, I don't get me wrong, but I think Prudnik would beat Todd as like Rustem usually do.
Top roll or blast him.
Yeah. But like if you would tell Prudnik, you know, you're gonna make a little bit more money if you beat him inside, he would go there too as well. You understand?
That's what everybody wants to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
But listen, there is no fun if one guy can beat the other guy with top roll, but he's just going there, and you understand. I told him that, like, can you beat him inside? Yeah, he said, like, first round I tried it. I think that, you know, you should try not the first round, maybe the last round, because if you go inside, this guy has incredible endurance, and if you get tired, then maybe you will not be able to even top roll him next time. He said, okay, maybe I will get tired, my bicep will get tired, but he said that even in hook, his wrist will get tired too.
Yeah.
So, and then he said, maybe I will top roll him easier this time, you know. But the match that I want to see is not that Irakli versus Hutchings. Irakli is going to top roll Hutchings.
Yeah.
And then we will just have those like chips and drinks, you know. We will just sit like iced tea, whatever, and then we will watch like 5 minutes war, you know. And then, you know, this and
another,
then
yeah.
Yeah.
Another Bet Killy and Jacques scenario, which Bet Killy was very, very impressive, hanging in there for as long as he did in terrible position. But the guy's arm strength is ridiculous. But at least he put some miles on Oleg, which is not easy to do. Even you could say, okay, Oleg's not back to his former greatness, but he's still bloody strong. And
it's kind of different.
Onyamli did great. Bet Killy did great.
Yeah, but it's still a little bit different because, in my opinion, Bet Killy only had chance to just like to make it longer. Yeah. I didn't see him any chance. But if Todd is pulling, it will not be only a defensive.
No.
Todd
He's got a chance to win from anywhere. He's made his career winning ugly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, every chance. In fact, I think Todd goes into that favourite, in my opinion. You know, I think I'd back Todd in that.
It would be incredible.
Mate, Todd is mega. He's incredible. The guy is ridiculously strong. Probably the strongest. If it's just raw top end inside strength, he's frightening. He really is. What he lacks in diversity, he makes up for in just sheer, unashamed grunt. He is unbelievably strong.
If there was a hook start tournament, all entrants, where does Todd finish on the world ranks?
What we're talking at any weight?
Any weight, hook start league.
He probably, in my opinion, if they're not losing their strength, because endurance is a big part of his game.
Yeah, so it's a match a day.
The guy refreshes his.
They're always fresh.
Yeah, they're always at their fresh level. I think he's top 5 in the world in a hook.
Also, after I see him with Dave Chaffee, I mean, anything is fine. But I would tell you something. There are some super heavyweights that probably wouldn't feel Hutchings inside, like Levan.
Maybe. Well, like Levan, but Levan's how many? Levan's 1.
I don't know. After I saw what Laletin did Gracie inside, I'm not sure about that either.
The Latin's a weirdo, but I think on levers, levers, I still think Todd might give him trouble if it was a slow start in a hook.
Maybe.
Because I think he gains a great deal of positional advantage off the start because he's such an imbalance. Once you've gained a great deal of positional advantage and you're controlling the angle of the match, the pronation, supination, it makes life a lot easier. But yeah, there's a few guys in there that I'd love to see tested in that position with John, and Todd's one of them. So for me, I'd love to see Brezink and Todd, because I think Brezink takes it in a hook at some point anyway. Probably after he's put enough miles on Todd's clock to make it a viable match in there, I think. But either way, because John doesn't rev up that hard in terms of speed, I think that match stops, and I think it's going to be a screamer. I think it's an amazing matchup. Absolutely amazing matchup. So what others, Engin?
I don't think that John can finish Todd.
No, just on stamina.
Yeah, I think the match is going to stop, and it will be a war. But I don't think he can finish. That guy is not normal guy. You know, it just sees from like different substance. You know, John is true, but John is now slowly becoming one of us.
Yeah, slowly becoming a normal human. So SG Records has just said Toddzilla had the fastest super matches and be like, see you kids. Yeah, he always ruffles the hair now. That's his thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Ruffle in the head. That would really piss you off, wouldn't it? It's like Savage used to say when Randall
I would be pissed off if he tried to do that to me.
Oh mate, terrible. Especially if he'd spent ages.
I guess he's got the age on Jordan and Lachlan, the two people he did it to, so he can kind of get away with it. He wouldn't dare do it to you, Engin.
He said, and I wouldn't pull him anyways, you know, no sense. But he said after Australia, now he owns Bulgaria as well. Is what he said.
So Eugenio with a super chat, he's put, it surprises me that Engin thinks Irakli would beat John. I don't see it. I love Engin. Made him come back for the second pull with Prudnik in the after pull. Let's see it at East versus West 3. I think that's the one you want, isn't it?
No. Trust me.
Irakli and John, East versus West 3. Do it. Why not? Interesting one.
Listen, Irakli, I think Irakli that we saw Daniel versus Daniel was 95 kilo, as far as I know, the weight class. But Irakli now I saw the 105 kilo guy, and this guy has potential. He's about 190. And to become even heavier, I don't know. I think he's just gonna beat John.
Oh, here we go, Engin. James Statham just come in with a super match, with a super chat for you. But it is a super match of sorts. Let's go there now. And he's basically said, you don't need any promotional pressure, Engin. He said, you want to come over and pull in Arm Wars because I'd love to make a film with you. And then he's put out to the chat, who should Engin pull? Interesting. And then the Hunster with a super chat. Who wins best versions of RVJ versus best version of Toddzilla?
Godzilla.
Get Ryan.
Any match that goes to stop, that's the only chance, that guy is not normal.
I mean, if it was a giant RVJ, if RVJ puffed up to 240, 245 or something like that, he'd probably be in the mix. But if it's 220 RVJ or 210 RVJ, then no way.
Well, we don't know what happens if RVJ goes in enhancement level. So who knows what that looks like? If he was to go,
Yeah, I don't think he'd do that, mate. I don't think Robert.
No, I don't think so either. But if we're just dreaming,
we only talk about best version means that what we saw till today.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
because we didn't see anything different. Of course, I know what you are talking about, but I'm talking about with what I know till now. If it becomes something else, which is possible, then I don't know.
So here we go.
If you had an Arm Wars match, Engin, and you could choose an opponent that would be the best storyline / most balanced with you, who would you pick?
Yeah. Really interesting 50-50 mega match. Who do you think you match up with really well and why?
But you want everyone who speaks English.
Well, yeah, but just for the time being, let's pretend that we can teach the mother fluffer. Let's just go on. Who would you pull?
Okay, listen. I have my opinion, and then if I say, people will make fun, so I'm not gonna say.
Engin, Ryan Bowen comes on this show, and every goddamn week gets that piss ripped out.
That guy has
endlessly. Don't give a shit.
That guy has a skin that thick. Mine is like paper thin. So yeah. So
Come on, just fire. Who are you gonna go with?
Okay, ARMWRESTLING.
See, I love that match.
Yes.
I love that match. I was actually gonna say that there was two. There was that, and there was Plamen. I like Plamen Dimitrov and you as well.
I would rather pull Zolev.
Be interesting, wouldn't
it? Yeah. Who wouldn't want to see that in Arm Wars? Seriously, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
great,
friggin'
really good.
Let's go.
I mean, but people will say that he would kill you, this and that, and so I don't know. Like, of course he would be heavily favored, but I recently beat not recently, but not long ago, beat Viral Dobrin, and it was like kind of like, I don't want to mention, but like dominance, way. And this guy, after I beat him, he beat Tautiev. Also wasn't so hard at the WAP final. And I know that Tautiev is not that far from the guy that we mentioned. It doesn't work that way, but I'm just saying that there is like nobody is Superman.
It's a good match for him.
Yes, nobody is Superman, so of course that he would be favored, but I would like to pull.
Why don't we do it, Engin? Let's go.
I wouldn't pull for Richard. Like, how many times did you ask me now to do it that war? Because I think I will
just work that out. Hang on a minute. Lots.
So 6, let's say 6, and every time you ask, it's 2,000 more up. It's just what, 12,000?
Hang on a minute. What's wanker in Turkish? But listen, if the match comes off, let's go. This is a legacy, mate. This is a legacy. Imagine you in beautiful Technicolor.
I told the same thing. I told the same fucking thing to Pat Hutchings. He says he's capitalist. So
don't worry about him. Look what it's done to Todd.
I spent so much time with him. Last 3 days, I spent so much time with him. So I just think like him. The old Engin is dead, forget about that.
Engin.
Now, like, it's all about like cash.
Listen, call me. Let's sort that out. Keep watching. Let's sort that out. I think that's interesting. Who wants to see Engin Terzi in Arm Wars film? Who wants to see that? Come on.
I would autograph 150 shirts just to see that happen.
Couple of thousand shirts.
Yeah.
Engin's only on to his last like 400 shirts. There it is. That's where the magic happens. Look at that. Look. Yeah, look at that. It's like something that's been cut off the Sasquatch. Look at it.
Whenever I get in the mood, I don't know why, I take the shirt up and then I start doing this. Yeah.
Hey, there it is. Look at that. Look.
Oh, look at that.
Still thick.
Hey?
Thick.
Yeah, but listen, I'm not moving the fingers. I'm not moving the wrist. Yeah.
Oh, how do you do that? Yeah. Whoa. How do you do that without moving your fingers?
I know it's quite weird, isn't it? Hey, look at that years that's taken, Ryan. There's your new obsession, Ryan.
Impressive.
You know what that is, Ryan, don't you?
I can't do it without squeezing my fingers.
Ryan, that's connected. Here we go. Mika's just come in and he's put Engin versus Zoloff. Make it happen. And then my wife's boyfriend has just come in. Imagine if Michael Hearn used steroids. Imagine, in that world. So, guys, it's now. We've been on for about 2 hours, so I think I should let Engin go and sign his next 700 T-shirts before he goes to bed. He hasn't slept for 2 days.
It's already.
Oh, man.
Wow, look at that. So Herman Stevens has got to fit that in his carry-on.
Holy mate, that's terrifying. Good luck with that, Engin. Tell you
Thank
what,
you.
Good luck, Herman.
Still there. Half of box is still there. Yeah.
bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's the aftermath of the East versus West. Ladies and gents, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody for tuning in. I want to say an enormous thanks to our sponsors for the show. The greatest beef jerky in the world. If you want to know how Engin can do that little forearm flex thing that he's doing there, it's because he has spent the last 15 years on a diet of only Western Survivor beef jerky, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Greatest beef jerky in the world.
Yes.
Right.
If it was like pork jerky, I wouldn't agree, but it's beef jerky. So
beef jerky. And
okay, true. That's true.
Comes highly recommended. It is in fact the Wizard's Tits. Now, guys, if you enjoy a bit of talk about arm wrestling, there's a place you can go. ARMWrestlingForums.com is the place where the chat will always continue. Ryan has done a great job with this, and he's set up something that is like the old Northeast message board. I mean, Engin, are you on there yet? ARMWrestlingForums.com. You go on there yet? You need to be doing something. If not, you'd never sleep again.
Wow.
Because once Engin gets talking about arm wrestling, it's going to be a long night. And at Arm Wrestling Forums, you can talk as long as you want. Get yourself about 60 bags of Western Survivor beef jerky, a couple of coffees, a couple of 1,000 T-shirts to sign, and get over to armwrestlingforums.com, ladies and gentlemen, because that is where you can talk non-stop about this sport. Remember, if you're not already subscribed to the Enigma of Rage Arm Wrestling channel, get over there and sub right now. Engin Terzi.
Neil.
Yes,
Neil,
brother.
what is Ryan trying to do still there?
He's still trying it.
I feel like, is it the perfect, are you perfectly balancing wrist flexion and wrist extension at the same time? Is that what you're doing?
Issue, Ryan.
I'm not doing anything, just...
There it is.
Oh, you do it so easy. You do it so easy. So is your, next time we're live in the fix, I'm going to do that. I'm going to work on it.
Left. See, left, I cannot do it. I don't know why.
Well, you can't do it left.
No,
so
with the right.
You don't have any party tricks like that, Ryan. I can do one where I come out of a bathroom naked with a towel. And it's like, whoa. Seriously, my missus loves it.
I'm seriously, I'm trying to work it out. I'm going to keep practicing. I'll see if I can do it.
Subject for Ryan for the social media.
He'll never stop doing that. He'll never stop doing that. He's been doing it for ages, trying to get that down, trying to get it dialed in. Next time he comes on, he's going to be trying to nail it. So, ladies and gents, if you're not subscribed to the mighty Uncle John's Arm Wrestling channel, get over there and sub Uncle John. He's been probably doing more lives over this weekend than anybody in the world. Apart from potentially Mr. Ryan Bowen, who's never left that studio seat for the last 3 days. Get over and subscribe to Ryan Blue Bowen, ladies and gents. You can Get all your arm wrestling kit there as well. You can get equipment, you name it, 15% off with the code Supernatural. Ladies and gents, thank you very much for checking out the show. Remember, as I say in all these things, and I should say it earlier, if you have not seen the new Arm Wars channel yet on YouTube, you are missing out. Get over and check out the films. We're about 6 deep into Reality Check right now. Something very different. Get over and sub. Get over and check them out. Arm Wars, the new YouTube channel. Get over and have a look at those. We'll be moving on to Iron House straight after Reality Check. Also, if this is your first time, Supernatural Strength, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell everybody about it, ladies and gents. And until we see you next time, take it easy, peeps.
Oh, those biceps. Big.